and action as we always do. So, today I wanted to touch upon a subject that I always thought to myself that is, very important, first of all, and also I think that in this case, which is not the case for many topics, but at least this time around, I think that my opinion and my view on the subject is actually probably quite spot on. For the other things, usually I kind of leave it up for debate because even myself, I have arguments and counter arguments for certain things. But with this one, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But here's the thing. I've always seen that, with me at least, and that's why I'm saying that I'm curious for you guys what your reality and your perception is. But with me, with myself, I've seen that usually the overall performance and the overall state of well-being that I have is heavily influenced by many factors. And whenever this happens, and whenever I have like a spike, whether it's upwards or downwards in my performance, one of the very first metrics that becomes just absurdly visible is my ability to just grip things. Whenever I feel like I'm super strong, for whatever reason, some days I even just wake up like this and I feel like I'm made of steel, versus other days when I just wake up and I feel like I'm just dog shit. I can't do anything and I feel like I'm crumbling and whatever. But let's say that when I'm also doing these things consciously and voluntarily, and I have control over these aspects, whether it's through good training, and nutrition, and my recovery is on point. Versus, for example, when I'm sick, and that's one of my biggest problems, as I'll discuss very short after. I've always seen that whenever these things fluctuate up and down, the very first area where it's becoming like the most visible is my ability to just grip things. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports types of grip exercises or whatever. Just my ability in general to grip things and do things with my hands. And here's the thing. My theory is that the central nervous system, in terms of its fatigue, its recovery, its ability to cope with stress factors, and its ability to fire the respective neurons and the muscle fibers and to recruit them for doing certain activities, is ultimately going like all the way down to your fingertips, where it's actually doubling both as sensors and actuators. So the idea is that this thing right here that we call hand, together with the forearm and arm, and altogether the whole thing, but most importantly the arm and the ability of my arm to my hand and the ability of my hand to do things, I've always seen it to be heavily, extremely correlated with the overall state in which my body is in. So the idea is that, again, going back to my so-called theory, I've always seen that just like magic, the coincidence is ever present. Whenever I feel like shit, all I have to do is take some of my grippers, which by now I know by heart. I know exactly how this one should feel. I know exactly how the next one in line should feel. If you haven't watched my videos in the past with where I'm presenting these grippers and also other gadgets and contraptions I have here for grip strength, whatever, go check them out. But in this episode, I won't be talking about them specifically. I'll just remind you that they are ranged from 100 to 350 pounds. Doesn't matter how realistic that rating is. What matters is that these are the grippers, and I know them very well, so I know just how easy it is for me to pump this one versus like I said, the next one, and so on and so forth. So for me, whenever I feel like I'm a little bit down, all I have to do is take one of these grippers, and I can see immediately that already some of my tendons are complaining, and overall kind of like the overall sensation in my arm, my forearms, and stuff like that. Sometimes I feel so bad at it. I don't know. I feel like with every strain of my muscle, something's gonna break. I feel like I'm made out of like fiberglass, or glass, because fiberglass is actually quite resistant. Anywho, you understand the analogy. Whereas on the opposite side of the spectrum, when I feel like I'm super well, and I feel like I'm having one of the good days, and I'm just breathing life through every pore. These things are just like just like toys. I can fucking clamp these things like they're nothing. And like I said, progressively with all of the ones that I have here, pretty much the same thing happens. For example, if I know that let's say for the 200, I have here, like I said, they go 50 pounds from 50 pounds. So the increment step is 50 pounds. For me, the 200 pounds, on a good day, I can close not very easily, but decently. Whereas if I'm just even a little bit off, I can no longer close it fully. It's like I have like a split of hair of a distance, or even more, depending on just how bad I'm feeling. And to be honest, if you don't have these things, although I highly recommend for you to have some sort of gripper that you can use daily, and you can kind of gauge yourself around it. If you don't have this, anything else will do. But for me, having these, which are, let's say, stable and constant, and I can use them as different stages with different metrics, because I can very easily compare how I'm feeling today versus tomorrow versus last week, and so on, for each of those numbers. And to be honest, when I'm sick, without any exaggeration, I go from when I'm feeling super good, I go from feeling like I can just run through a wall. I go within a few hours, or let's say one day or whatever, couple of days at most, but usually it's just a few hours. I go down to the point where if you give me like a pack of biscuits that I have to open, or like a bag of chips, I cannot do it. I feel like every bone and muscle fiber inside of me is just about to just shatter into pieces. So that's why I'm saying that for me, one of the very first things that I observe when I'm off, whether it's due to illness, sickness, whatever, fatigue, general systemic fatigue or whatever, or if it's a specific problem in the arm or whatever, but usually more for systemic things, one of the very first things that goes away is this. Just as when I'm racing towards the top, one of the very first things that engages and just shoots through the roof is, again, this. And I could go on, and I could tell you why, I think, or some of my theories, on why I think that this happens, because this is like the furthest, one of the furthest extremities of your body, which actually is capable of doing a lot of very, very complex things. And it's not just an instrument of power, but it's also an instrument of precision. So all of these things, and also with me being a guitar player and doing also all sorts of other things that require fine motor skills, plus the raw, force that is at the other end of the spectrum with sports and so on. I tend to think that I'm very in tune with my hands, and I always feel like health is directly reflected in your ability to grip things, and also vice versa. By working on your ability to actuate things in the real world, somehow you're impregnating that thing back into your nervous system, your central nervous system, CNS, whatever you want to call it, and also into like your overall physiology in the end. I think it's like a bidirectional connection. Whenever there's something wrong or something is improving, it gets reflected here, but also by working it from here, you can actually inflict changes on the other side. So yeah, this topic was actually something that's been almost like a pillar of truth in my life with my experience for probably the past 10-15 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had this all my life. It's just that probably for at least the past 10 or 15 years I've had like this this principle already formulated, and everything already kind of contoured and crystallized in my head about this whole thing that I just discussed about, this being a very, very obvious reality for me. And recently, I mean, just because it was a reality for me for such a long time, it does not mean that I just magically thought about making a video about this. Actually, I saw a video from Jeff Cavaliere, Athlean-X, just a few days ago, where he was discussing exactly about this fucking thing, and I was both happy and frustrated because I was happy that I kind of got confirmation on this thing, because he was right in the same on the same lane with me on this one, and usually I can't say I agree with a lot of things that he says, but where he's right, he's dead right. He's really on point. And this one for me was like a confirmation bias, obviously. I was very happy that he also was super aware of this thing with grip strength being an actual metric of observation that is correlated with your fatigue and overall body performance and health state, status, whatever. But also, like I said, I was frustrated because and this happens to me many times, even lately, since I just recently opened my channel. Is like I'm doing a video and I keep it in the backlog because I'm trying to keep like a constant upload rate. So some of the things are just waiting. They're scheduled for 2 days in advance or whatever. And in the meantime, one of the bigger names out there, whether it's fitness channels or arm wrestling channels, one of our, for example, people like Ryan Bowen or Devin or RVJ or whatever, they just somehow happen to put a video out there that I already did by coincidence, but now by the time I'll be releasing it, everyone will think I just jumped on the bandwagon as soon as they released it, which obviously if I would be observing it from the outside, I would say the same. So yeah, it's too happy of a coincidence to be the other way around, but for me it is. So in this case, I was a bit frustrated again because Jeff kind of again put out this video before me, the nobody of YouTube, but yeah, that's not a problem, because at least this time he was he was the one who actually reminded me to do this. It's not like I had the video already done, just waiting to be set to public. But yeah, I was very happy to see that he kind of confirms this. Again, please let me know what you guys think. Do you have the same experience? Do you have the same things going on with you? Are you actually resonating with what I just said, or do you think it's just total crap and bullshit, and this is actually not at all special, or not any more special than any other thing would be, like with the legs or whatever? Yeah, for me, this is like a prime indicator. So let me know what you guys thought. Hit the like button if you liked it. If you didn't, just hit the dislike button twice, as I always say, in order to make sure that I get the message right. So yeah, subscribe, share, troll, hate, whatever, just as long as we engage in meaningful conversations. So until next time, guys, I'll let you be, and I'll be off with my never-ending rant, I guess. So see you. Bye-bye.